Dancer and choreographer Kristi Faulkner collaborated with the Ruth Ellis Center on creating a performance that the LGBTQ dancers could share their talents and their stories. The performance premiered right here at Ant Hall. Take a look.
The thing that I love the most about dance, I think, is just the opportunity to express yourself.
Everybody has their own story, whether you be black, white, gay, straight, bi, whatever.
We're here to take pride in who we are and actually put that out there to people so that they are comfortable enough to do the same.
I think this project is great for opening up, hopefully, the minds of whoever comes to see it.
So I'm just going to start at the top of the show and work my way through. Crafting a show, to me, is something that just like really feeds my soul and really motivates me. Not in My House is a collaboration between myself and my company, Kristi Faulkner Dance, and the Ruth Ellis Center. So Not in My House is a term that a lot of LGBTQ people have heard. Suppress who you are, or do not be in my house, right? Is a message a lot of LGBTQ youth get. And so that's one side of the title. The other side of Not in My House is that we will not tolerate discrimination and prejudice towards people who are LGBTQ.
This one time at work, he was this really cute straight guy that came up to my register.
This performance piece, I look at as a creative retelling of coming out stories.
There's a lot of different stories being told. Just what our experiences were to come out, the struggles, a lot of the things that we actually have gained from it.
We're here to tell the story. I'm here, like, living another day. This project is exploring self-identity and the awareness of the LGBT community and how we're not a lot of times accepted within our own families, so how we often go outside of our families to find families and safe havens. A lot of times we tend to go towards clubs where we feel more comfortable to.
A lot of the movement material comes from voguing and different types of movement vocabulary that is particular to LGBTQ culture.
Vogue is just like an amazing outlet as far as the style of dance. There are no rules. I like being able to sometimes feel even more feminine one day, and another day I might be a little bit more rough. Like, Vogue gives you the opportunity to change that dynamic and be able to be whatever you want to be at that moment.
So it's really just about like drawing it out so you don't have like pauses. As a choreographer, my approach is to work very collaboratively with the people that I'm involved with in a project. We explore a lot of ideas and then start to develop movement material. And then I view my role as the one who sort of like strings it all together and crafts it into something that makes sense.
Kristi is awesome as a director. I think that I really love the fact that she's allowing us to artistically just move organically through space.
I personally think that the most interesting audio score are the stories.
So the guys, they start to pull and snatch and bully people out of the car, taking anything they can get their hands on. Phones, wallets, purses, whatever. And I'm like, OMG, why me? I am trans. The biggest part about people not understanding me is just they don't understand my lifestyle. And because they think it's so much different than theirs, when actuality is very similar, just depending on what type of person they are. This actually allows me to not only give my story, but to be able to understand other people's stories.
And if I'm hot shot, mama come at night.
My story is derived from my hair. My first year in high school, I was very involved in ministry. I actually was leading in ministry at that point. And I got called into the office that I needed to change my appearance. My hair was too long. So I struggled with that, and I actually cut my hair because I thought it was the right thing to do at the time. But now that I have grown and realized that that was a big part of me conforming to what I shouldn't have been. Just knowing that things like that, little things like that, could make or break someone. You know, make or break their confidence and how they view themselves, how they can love themselves. And I think that that is a big part of what my story is about. And I just want to encourage those people to, no matter what, be yourself.
I just wanna be myself, and I want you to know I am my hair.
I think there's a lot of stories that we share that, yes, they are particular to LGBTQ people, but they also have a sort of universality to them that other people can identify with.
But Sarah was married, so we just remained pretty good friends, and I just admired her from afar. I think other people can connect with my story specifically because I'm sure most people have been there. We've all had like someone we've been super in love with or super infatuated with, or someone we just like want to be around. I think everyone's been there.
If you're able to identify with somebody and their story and their experience, who you might see as like different from you, you feel like maybe you do share something in common, and hopefully people can become a little bit more tolerant then. I think if you are true to the authentic stories, if you're true to representing people as their authentic selves, then that shows.
Everyone has came up with, different phrases that we say throughout the show. These are all of the things that create our identity. Some of them are negative, some of them are positive, but it's life. And I think that that's the story that we need to tell on stage. This is the life that we're living.
Be aggressive. Be aggressive.
What's important about this show and this experience is then continuing that conversation about, what did you see? What does it mean to be LGBTQ?
In this experience, I've learned so much about people within the community, because even though I am a part of the LGBTQ community, I necessarily don't know much about the L's or the B's, and so I'm able to hear their stories and be a little more compassionate and understanding to where everybody's coming from.
I think I would like to have more conversations about safe places, more like the Ruth Ellis Center, places that we can go and actually let out and be ourselves.
For me, it's about visibility, really, like plain and simply. Growing up, I didn't know gay people, I didn't know trans people, I didn't know any non-binary people, I didn't even know what those things were. And I think for young people today, we have more visibility of LGBTQ people. But I think it's important to also have visibility within your own communities. And so for people in the Detroit community to look and see, here is a person within my own community who is not afraid to speak out about their identity, who is not afraid to shine who they are, and not just myself, but all of these dancers that are performing, everybody identifies as LGBTQ. To see people proudly standing up and speaking their truth, saying who they are, being their authentic selves, I think means a lot to young people.
You can learn more about Kristi Faulkner Dance, as well as all the artists that we feature on DetroitPerforms.org.